So raise her hand.
With that, sorry, Olivia.
Crystal, you raised your hand. I think she had her hand raised. She might want to interject something.
Oh, yes. I was going to say, Luke, she's out of town. She said she was going out of town this week. So maybe that's what's going on for Lizzie.
Yes. Yep.
But she said
Lizzie Melty.
yes, but she said she was going to be back tomorrow. So maybe I don't know if it's like a vacation or something, but she should be back tomorrow. So maybe, you'll be able to reach her then. And of course, she'll be at the meeting Wednesday if you're available to talk to her as well.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate it, and hopefully, I don't think her cell phone voicemail is set up, or it's just full maybe, but I couldn't leave a message on her cell. And then suggested trying her office, so I tried her office and I left her a message there. But it makes sense if she's out of town. So yeah, hopefully I'll hear back from her in the next coming days, and we'll get that set up, and I'll send out just a group email, but more than likely probably just a group text to the club too, and give everybody the details and kind of the rules going forward with that. So anyway, don't want to take up too much time there. That's all the club business I have. Does anybody else have anything to pass to the club? Carrie?
Don't forget your dues. Don't forget to pay the lady.
I am a money collector now. I sent the invoice via email, so please check your email again. And then if you make a payment as soon as possible, I will appreciate it. And I'm not sure I send all of it because I'm still working on it. The reason is I have to do the manual one by one. I couldn't find a way to send it efficiently, but definitely no later than this week. And then the due date is March 31st or April 1st. $55 in total. Thank you.
How much is the total? 55?
5.
Oh, I thought it was 45 and 20. Oops, I sent those minutes out wrong. I sent the minutes out for 45 and 20. I thought it was 65. You said it's 50? Is it 5 or 65?
5.
Okay.
So $45 membership fee and $10 for local club fee.
Okay.
So 5. Thank you.
Absolutely, Carrie. Anybody else, guys, before we turn it over to Maurice, our Toastmaster? Okay. Well, without further ado, we will go ahead and kick off the meeting tonight. Crystal, for my education overview, I did not time it. I would just say roughly 5 to 7 minutes. I'm not sure. Donovan, do you have a rough estimate of how long your sharing is going to be?
You can just do it based off of the criteria of the speech.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time, Donovan?
You can just do it based off the criteria of the speech.
Okay. Yeah, let's do 4 to 6 minutes then for your the email that you're going to be sharing with the Toastmasters email. Okay, without further ado, I would like to welcome our Toastmaster for the evening, and that is Maurice.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The first order of business is to go over the roles, and each person who has a role, just give a brief explanation of that role. And first, I will go to the general evaluator, which is David.
Good evening, everyone. I will be your general evaluator for tonight's meeting. So I will be calling on the people that are be giving different reports, such as the timer, all counter, grammarian, and any evaluators. So for our, will we need any evaluations tonight? I guess not. Okay. And also I'll be giving a general evaluation of the meeting as a whole, how everything went at the end of the meeting. So that's about it for me. Thank you. And back to you, Maurice.
All right, thank you. Next will be the grammarian, and that is Carrie.
Good evening, everyone. Carrie again. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language use. So make sure no misuse of English language. Thank you. And then also today's word is, which do you see better this way, or I prepare both ways? Is that the mirror image?
That's it.
Is it mirror image for you guys?
Yes,
No,
so
no, that was not mirror image, was it?
that one was right. That was right.
this is right for you.
Yes, it's right.
Okay. So tonight, this is torpid is the word, and Davey will pronounce this word because he practiced pronunciation with Google this morning, and Google gave him good job. So please pronounce, Davey.
Torpid. Torpid.
Thank you. The definition is mentally or physically inactive, lethargic. And similar words is slow, inactive, sluggish, inert. And for example, the animal need not lie around in the torpid state, vulnerable to attack. Thank you.
Right. Next will be our all counter. And I believe that is Luke.
All right, thank you, Maurice. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster members and guests. I'll be your all counter tonight, and my job is to count the filler words, which I am definitely king of doing myself. So any uhs, ahs, ums, anything like that. And yep, that will be my role this evening. I'll turn it back over to our Toastmaster.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll have our table topics master, which is Olivia.
Hello, everyone. Toastmasters. Wow, I said and our guest, Crystal. I am your Toastmaster table topics master for tonight, and my role is to ask impromptu questions to all of our guests or our Toastmaster members tonight. And then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question in a speech form. That's it. Back to you, Toastmaster.
All right, thank you. And we'll have our timer. And who volunteered
Crystal?
the timer?
Crystal's gonna do our timer.
Okay, Crystal.
Hello, everyone. I will be your timer for the evening. I will time both the speakers as well as the table topic speakers. At the yellow minute mark for the table topics, I'll have this card. At the green minute mark, I will have first and foremost the green card, then the yellow at the 1 minute and 30 seconds, and the 2 minute mark will be the red cards. For Luke, his speech is 5 to 7 minutes, 5 for the green, yellow for the 6 minute mark, and red for the 7. And for Donovan, it will be 4 to 6 minutes, 4 for the green, 5 minute will be the yellow, and 6 minute will be the red cards. Your goal is to get to the green. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, thank you. And without further ado, we will go into our first speech slot. And this will be performed by Luke. And from what I understand, it's an educational overview. All right,
That's correct. All right, thank you, Toastmaster. So good evening, everybody, once again. So for tonight, I'm just doing an education overview. I actually went back and forth between 2 different ones. One was, speaking up in tough situations, and the other one is tips for being, the leader or a good leader. And both these are very relevant to me and mean a lot to me, so I figured they would be definitely relevant to you guys as well. I did go with the tips for the leader, and so the next education overview I'll do will be speaking up in tough situations. So I think we all can say that, you know, in our jobs, we've all had, you know, leaders that were good. We've had leaders that were, you know, pretty bad, and we've had leaders right in the middle. And so in the military, and just like all the other jobs out there, you always have somebody who's in a higher supervisor role than you, or in the military, higher rank. So I do have a lot of bosses at work, but I'm also the boss, or I'm just of a higher rank than people under me as well. So anyway, I thought these tips for being a good leader was something I wanted to share. I really liked how the Toastmasters article related it to a more human leadership style, which I find very effective. Just to share a personal experience, you know, I've had leaders in the past who literally thought that, you know, the louder they spoke, the more assertive they were, the more type A personality they had, the less emotion they showed, that made them a better leader. And while that might work for some, that leadership style definitely does not work for me. And so I really enjoyed reading this article that I want to share tonight. So what are the 10 qualities that make a great leader, and a more human one too? So what are the attitudes and attributes of those who step into the arena and lead their teams to achieve the success trifecta, which is a great business, a happy team, and a fulfilled leader? So it boils down to the following. So number one is positivity. And so it says, looking at the literal world in a favorable way. And we all know how much positivity can affect us mentally. It can also wear off on other people as well. And so keeping a positive attitude is key. So purpose, you must have a place to which you want to lead someone or a group or yourself that goes beyond just profit. To me, this means truly caring about your team, truly caring about your job and how you're doing it, not just only caring about the end goal and how you're getting there. So empathy, you have to be able to walk a mile in another person's shoes and then apply the golden rule. Number 4, humility. You want to make your team better than you. You want to shine the light on them. It's not about you. So just recently at work, we just got done with a really big training environment, and I'm the department head for 2 different divisions, and one of our divisions had to go through an inspection. And so in the command out brief, you know, my division was not there, but I was, and they were saying, hey, you did a great job on the navigation, you know, checklist, inspection, and so forth. Well, you know, I did say thank you very much, but I want to give credit where the credit's due. And I named off my guys who were actually doing the work, because yes, I'm the supervisor, but they were the ones doing it day in and day out who made us pass that inspection. So you definitely want to, you know, highlight your guys and give credit where credit is due. Number 5, will. You have to really want to get there somehow, some way, and that needs to be right on your sleeve for all your team to see and feel. Relentlessness. So your positive tone, your message, your vision, your values, and expectations are out there constantly, week after week, day after day, hour by hour. So to me, this just means consistency. You know, be a consistent leader every single day. Don't flip-flop on how you lead. Don't confuse people. Don't make people wonder and guess how you're going to react. You know, the way you lead, people can kind of already gauge, you know, what you're going to say, how you're going to react. And so just being consistent, I feel, is very, very needed. So number 7, persistence. You are never satisfied. The bar can always be raised. Now, while I do agree with this, but at some points, I know me personally, trying to be a perfectionist with some things, it can kind of get my confidence down. You know, you always look back and say, hindsight, you're like, man, I should have done this different, or I should have done this, and my presentation would have been better. But you have to keep it in reality, keep it in perspective, and know that you did do a good job. And yes, things could always be better, but don't let it, you know, get to a point to where it's the negativity is bringing you down. Curiosity. You don't know everything. So first you need to admit it, and you always want to keep learning and learning. And so I kind of take that as listen to your team, listen to your guys, really take in their feedback, because yes, you might outrank them or you might be a supervisor, but you don't know everything and they might have a better idea, and don't let your ego get in the way of not taking that into consideration, because you want to think win-win in any situation. Trust. It says it's a sacred bond between you and your team. It must be earned and not just freely given or taken. So making sure you're keeping that trust with your team, because once it's gone, I find it really hard to try to gain back. And so keeping that trust is key. And they went back to positivity for number 10. So what I liked about this too, the next little part here, it says the 8 principles of more human leadership. So to me, it's not just leadership, having someone go out there and lead. It's like human leadership. It brings it down to like the personal level for me. So crossing the bridge from I to we, you know, it can't be about you. It is about your team as a whole. Asking for trust and keeping your promises. Integrity is an absolute must. Establishing a mantra of key values. Finding and teaching more human leaders. To me, this isn't standing up, I feel, and speaking to a leader, and it's I think just going out and showing how you lead and treating people with respect, you know, caring about them, getting the job done, you know, being assertive, you know, but not weak at all too, and just leading by example. Building a culture of accountability. It's all about fairness and shared responsibility. It says measuring, monitoring, and managing with the right metrics. The team needs to know where they stand and what they're aiming for. So just having clear goals. Fighting complacency and the naysayers. Inertia is a momentum killer. And lastly, connecting it all to a higher purpose. Humans want to be a part of something meaningful because that's bigger than themselves. So having a project that you guys just care about, you want to be on, you enjoy working with your team wants to do a good job, and you guys are just working together, I feel is one of the best environments to be in, because you don't want to alienate anybody and start having any kind of, you know, rough feelings, because that can definitely, you know, start getting in the way and hindering work. So it looks like my time is up, and that is the article that I wanted to share tonight. So that was the tips for being a leader, says the essence of great leadership. Now I'll turn it back to our Toastmaster, Maurice.
All right, thank you, Luke. So you just heard the qualities of being a leader, and you don't want to be torpid in your leadership. Up next is our next speaker for tonight, and that will be Donovan.
Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Maurice. Speaking of being a good leader, you also need to realize about different deadlines or meetings that are coming up. So I got an email by Mrs. Rhonda Spittles from the International Toastmasters Foundation. It's the different deadlines or different meetings on Talk Up Toastmasters, which is on February 1st to March 31st, 2021. The next event that's coming up is training with the regional advisor, which is March 28th. But I also want to tell y'all that it is keeping the commitment as we finish the year strong. The next meeting that's coming up is the annual conference. That's actually on April 17th, 2021. And that is going to be a meeting this past week, and we are working to have the district store open for the conference, if not before. The next meeting is a district council meeting, which is May 2nd, with all presidents and the VPEs. I don't know what that means, but I assume that most of y'all know what that is. And on May 30th, the AD visit reports is on that day, which is the second half of the Toastmaster you all do. And actually, it is a distinguished district status. And I wanted to share all this with you because I thought it's important to know, but I also know that it will also help you become a good leader as well as the other attributes that Luke said in the speech. Thank you. Back to you, Mr.
Thank you there, Donovan. And at this time, we'll go into our next phase of the meeting, which is our table topics. And our table topics master for this evening is Olivia.
Hello, hello, and welcome to Olivia's Table Topics. Oh, y'all like my, see that? I am your Table Topics Master. Yeah, I love chalkboards. I just thought I'd put that up there. Anyway, so we're going to dive right in. Tonight, I'm not going to waste any time asking anybody to raise their hand. I'm just going to call you out and ask you a question. So buckle up. Here we go. All right, I am going to start with you, David. Tell me a story about something that you are currently wearing.
Good evening, everyone. And for tonight's table topic, I was asked to tell a story about something I am currently wearing. So I've got actually 3 choices because my hat has significance to me. My coat actually has significance to me, but I'll talk about my t-shirt. If you can see, I'm not going to do a strip tease. I'm just doing my shirt, but I just stepped on my mic. Hold up. Okay, as you can see, I'm wearing a Toy Story t-shirt, and it is significant to me because Carrie gave this to me for Valentine's Day. And I remember watching the original Toy Story. We've talked about this before, and it really got to me emotionally. And normally children's stories don't do that, but there was something about it that I really came to care deeply about these little toys that were running about and trying to go on their little adventure. But this is a shirt. I think this is, I guess this is part of the original Toy Story shirt, but I like the color. It fits me very well. It's just, and it's comfortable to wear, and I happen to be wearing it today. So I thought I would talk about that. And that's about all I've got. Back to you, Olivia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. And I think I picked the right person for that question. So that was a nice story. And I do love the Toy Story movie. I've watched it over and over when my kids were growing up. All right, we're moving right along. And I am coming to you, Maurice. You have to sing karaoke. What is the first song that pops in your head that you're going to sing? Don't think too long.
Topic master and fellow Toastmasters. I have not I don't remember a time where I sang karaoke, and I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think of a song that I would sing if I sung karaoke. And since I don't have that much time, I'll try to pick the first thing that's rational to me. You want to be starting something, Michael Jackson. I'll say.
You want to be starting something. Do you like Michael Jackson? Is he like one of your favorites, or is it just the first song that came to your head?
Well, that was considering the circumstances, it was the first thing that came to my head.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe that one was a little hard for you. I thought that you would be pretty good with that. You did a good job. Maybe we'll come back to you if I have more time. Crystal, this question is for you. What was your least favorite food as a child? And is it still your least favorite? And if so, why?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. What was my least favorite food as a child? Well, there's so many things that I can think of because, of course, like most children, I was very picky. However, I have to make a choice and I have to reflect back on this situation. So I would say chitlins, like, ew. I'm sorry, no offense, but chitlins the name just sounds wrong. Wrong. I don't know. The poor little piggies. So I would say chitlins because I don't like the name, I don't like the smell, and I really don't like the texture of the food. That would be my answer. But there's other foods that when I think back, I didn't like, but now that I'm older, I do. Like I didn't like tomatoes. I didn't like mayonnaise. But as you get older, you realize those are some really nice things. Got to have my tomatoes on my hamburger with my onions. Have to have my mayonnaise to make it great as well. So maybe, no, there's no way I'm going to like chitlins. I was going to say maybe I'll grow into it. I don't think so. That would be the food that I least liked as a child. Madam Tapas Master.
I totally understand. I've never had the nerve to put a chitterling in my mouth, so no offense to anyone, but the thought of touching one is too much for me. So I understand. My least favorite food was sweet peas. I didn't like them as a kid, and I do not like them now. If sweet peas was all I had to eat, perhaps I'd lose some weight because I cannot stand the thought of them. Sweet peas. All right, Luke, what is the first thing that you do when you get home?
All right, good evening, fellow Toastmaster members and guests. So the question I've been asked tonight is, what is the first thing that I do when I get home? And I will go ahead and admit that I have two small Pekingese dogs at home. I literally love them and treat them like kids. And I find myself actually driving fast home when Savannah isn't here so I can get home to the dogs. I actually jog from my truck or my car and get to the door, and the first thing I do is I let them out. We have a little puppy right now in Pekingese. We kind of keep in a larger pen because she's just too small, not house trained right now. And so I run in, I pick her up, and I take them outside and sit there and play and give them lots of loving for a while. So that is definitely one of the first things that I do when I get home, and I always really enjoy it, just like I did today. So back to you, Madam Topics Master.
Thank you very much. Carrie, I have a question for you. Would you rather, okay, both of these are large and in charge, but would you rather be a lion, the king of the jungle, or an eagle? Which would you rather be, a lion or an eagle?
Good evening, everyone. Lion or eagle? Whichever. I would like to be both, actually. However, whichever can live longer than the average. And I'm not sure which can live longer than the others. I cannot really tell. But let's say if lion lives longer than the eagle in general, I'd rather to be a lion. Both of them are very strong, but I want to live longer. So my criteria to choose either of them is lifespan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Donovan, this question is for you. As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up, and why?
Thank you, Olivia, and fellow Toastmasters. Well, the truth is that is a very hard question to think about right now, since I'm older I realized what I wanted is so out there that I can't even get right now. So what I would probably have to choose is that of being a good person and also being a leader, someone who looks out for other people, but also being the person who's also looking out for himself too. I was technically born right into a leadership family, basically, based off of my parents' professions. One is a director, and one is like a teacher, and I look up to both of them. And I know the question was when I was a kid, I basically looked up to my dad all the time, and right now, when I'm a 21-year-old, right now, I understood what I was thinking when I was a kid isn't what I was now. It's different. Right now, what I want to be is to be a leader and someone who looks out for those who don't have the same things that other people have. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. How much time do we have left? We stop at 7:30, Maurice? Or 7:25?
It's usually 7:20, but.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm done. That's it. Thank you for my table topic answers, everyone. And I will pass this back to you, Maurice, Toastmaster.
All right, thank you. At this time, we'll go into our last phase of the program, and that is our evaluation period. And our general evaluator for tonight will be David.
Thank you, Maurice, and good evening again, everyone. I will be your general evaluator for this evening. And we didn't have speeches, but we did have two sort of educational overviews, if you will, but we don't have evaluators for those. But I'll give my thoughts. I want to thank Luke for filling in the first spot with an educational overview about being a leader. And I thought he raised some really good points. I think in my experience, in the times that I've been a leader and in the times where I've had bosses leading me, it's a very difficult thing to pull off in an effective way in keeping everyone happy. I think some people just sort of bully their way through it, but ultimately to be truly successful, the points that Luke made are critical. But I don't myself, it's a very difficult skill to have. But I thought that was a very good job. And also thank Donovan for filling in the second speaker slot. With it's always good to remind us what's coming up in upcoming events with the district. And I think a lot of people, myself especially, am bad about seeing an email and think, oh, I'll read that later, and somehow later never comes. But so it's good to bring that to our attention. But moving on, I think we will start with our different reports from our different people that have done things, and we'll start with Crystal, if we can, for the timers report.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Overall, on our time, we did well as a group. For our speeches, Luke, you were 7 minutes and 8 seconds. I thought it was a little bit more than that. I think it was, and I can't read my handwriting. For Donovan, you were 2 minutes and 15 seconds. David, in your table topics, you were 1 minute and 3 seconds. Maurice, 55 seconds. Myself was 1 minute and 21 seconds. Luke, you were 1 minute and 25 seconds. Carrie, you were 37 seconds. And Donovan, you were 1 minute and 57 seconds. I did not know to time anything else. I think there was something else mentioned about time, but I did not know because I don't normally do that in our other clubs. So please forgive me if I forgot to time another section of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. I think you covered everything. If we had had evaluators, we timed those, but we did not have any evaluators. So moving on, can we go to Luke for our all counter report, please?
All right, good evening, fellow Toastmaster members. So for the all counters report, let's see, Carrie, I had 2 uhs and about 1 myself, I caught myself a couple times during the speech with uhs, and it would actually trip me up because I would catch myself and then I would start thinking about it and try not to. So I wrote myself down for 2 uhs and 2 but I'm sure I had more. Olivia, I didn't catch any. Maurice, I don't think in the 3 years I've been at Toastmasters with you, I've ever heard you say a filler word. So you have 0. Crystal, I didn't catch any from you either. Donovan, I caught 1, I believe, and David, I had 0. So that is the all counters report. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Luke. Moving on, we will go to our grammarian report with Carrie.
Good evening again. I didn't detect any misuse of or misgrammar of English language. Maurice used torpid once, and I didn't hear from anybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. And for an overview of the entire meeting so far, I would say that we've done a good job. I was going to use torpid. I forgot to earlier. I was going to say we are not a torpid group. We stay active. Everyone has a role. We try to keep everybody involved. If there's not too many people, when we have table topics, we make sure everybody has an opportunity. So we are an active group despite being still in a pandemic and doing this on Zoom. I think we're doing better probably than we give ourselves credit for. So is a filler word. I need to stop that. Also, I would wanted to mention really quickly on the table topics when Luke talked about his dogs. I could really picture that, getting home and running to see your dogs, and the dogs are so happy to see you. And it just reminded me, this is not a joke. When I came home today, I couldn't find my cat anywhere. And so I walked around and she's like lying on my bed and she looks up at me. It's like, oh, you're back. You know, it's like cats and dogs are just so different. But thank you for that. And I thought everybody did a great job with the table topics as well. I think that's about all I have as general evaluator. The meeting was a little bit, well, we started on time and then we did a reset. So we were okay on that, and we're doing okay on time right now. So back to you, Maurice, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, David. I don't believe we have any awards tonight, so I will go ahead and relinquish the lectern back to the president.
All right, thanks, Maurice. I appreciate you being Toastmaster tonight. So I know it's a little early, guys. It's 7:31. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Maybe next time we could do some extra table topics. I should have kept up with the time a little better, but that was my fault. But nonetheless, I know it was a little lighter meeting tonight. We were down 3 or 4 people that we normally have that we had to fill roles for. But thanks, Olivia, for just getting those roles filled right at the beginning. Crystal, it was great to have you again. You're welcome anytime. And thanks for just stepping right up and taking the timer role. It definitely really helped out. So let's see, Donovan, just wanted to say thank you for, so Donovan emailed me before the club and suggested that we, share those save the dates with everybody. And I thought it was a great idea. I did not see that email. And so I asked Donovan if he could share that in speaker 2 spot tonight with everybody, because, it's great information. And he saw it, and like I said, I didn't even see the email. So I just want to say thanks for bringing that to my attention. And I thought you did a great job presenting it. So, and lastly, the hybrid meeting, I will keep in touch. I will keep calling Miss McNulty. I'm not going to call tomorrow. I just left her a voicemail today on the office phone. So we'll let her get back in town. And the goal is to, hopefully have a hybrid meeting on next Monday. And Crystal, I'll probably be reaching out to you, to be honest, sometime this week, and maybe talking about how you guys do these hybrid meetings. I know me, Maurice, and I think Olivia and Majid are looking to attend, our hybrid meeting on Monday, if we have one. And so just the particulars on kind of how you guys go about setting it up and everything might give us some tips and tricks that definitely might be helpful. So I might send you a quick email or send you a text or give you a call or something if you don't mind.
Sure, that's fine.
All right, thank you. All right, guys, so it's 7:33. We'll just be mindful of everyone's time tonight. We can cut the meeting short, but does anybody have anything else to pass in closing? Okay, well, once again, I thought we had another great meeting, guys. Everyone have a good week, and I will keep everybody posted with the hybrid meeting, and I'll get the agenda sent out for next week's meeting, and we'll see everybody on the following Monday.
All right. Have a
All
good
right.
night, everyone.
Yep.
Good night.
You guys
Good
too.
night.
All right, good night.
See you Monday.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.